Okay, so let's get into the multicolors. I have 4 of each multicolored card in each 2-color pairing. I don't have any 3-colored cards yet. Might be a few I might put in. Not as like to make sure there's one for each guild or con or whatever, but just sometimes 3-color cards are useful. So, anyways, let's get to Azorius first. We have Curse of Change, which is just a value card. The fact that it's hybrid mana means this can be a blue card or a white card or an Azorius card. So it can be quite flexible in that regard, but it's just a really good removal spell. And then we have 3 spells that fit the theme. We've got Turn to Mist, which can flicker a creature. Interesting note, most of the time, you're only flickering creatures you control. This is, you can flicker any creature. So being able to turn to mist somebody who just got targeted with an aura or a pump spell is a really great way to get some edge there. We've got Dramatic Rescue, which is bounce a creature, gain 2 life. Just kind of... this can just be a little bit more interesting. It's very similar to an unsummon with gain 2 life. You can target your own stuff, target your opponent's stuff. It's kind of flexible that way. And then we've got Deputy of Acquittals, which is a bear with flash. And when it comes into play, you may return another creature you control to his owner's hand. So a creature you control, I should say. So this can be used to flicker, or it could just be used as a flash blocker if you want it to as well. But also very versatile spell. Next we have Orzhov. We have Gift of Orzhova, which is just a fantastic card. Fun story about this. I went to a shop and found this foil Gift of Orzhova in a dollar foil bin. And I really wanted to get it, but I'm like, Than, you don't even have an Orzhov deck. Don't buy it. You don't need it. It's just pretty, okay? You know, it's gorgeous foil, as you can see. Anyways, so I'm like, no, I'm not going to buy it. So I go home, and I can't stop thinking about it. Like, you know, I was actually told by my grandmother that if you really, really want something, buy it tomorrow, because sometimes you don't actually really want it. You know what I mean? Like you think you want it, but as soon as you're removed from it, you actually don't want it anymore. So I thought that's what was going to happen, but the entire week at work, I couldn't stop thinking about this foiled Gift of Orzhova. So I gritted my teeth and I went and bought it because it's so gosh darn pretty. I just had to have it. And when I went there, I don't remember when it was, but I do remember they had booster packs of Gatecrash there for $4 a pack. And at the time, I was like, dude, there's Shocklands in there, and that's a reasonably old pack. I think it was like a year old, and they're still selling it for $4 a booster. So I decided to buy a booster pack of Gatecrash anyways, just because, you know, that's a good price for a pack of Gatecrash, and I got this for $1. Well, lo and behold, my foil for that pack of Gatecrash was another foil Gift of Orzhova. So I ended up trading that one, keeping this one. At any rate, fun little story, great card. The only downside to this is because of the hybrid mana, oftentimes Orzhov doesn't even get this. Black decks take it because it's just good for flying and lifelink, good for evasion. White decks, you know, mono white decks will take it. And so that's the only downside to this, but still, it's a good problem to have because this card is just so good. We got Tithe Drinker. It's basically Child of Night with Extort, so it fits perfectly into this archetype. We also have a Blind Hunter, which, if you don't know what Haunt does, don't worry about it. Basically, when this comes into play, you drain them for 2, and then you haunt one of their creatures, and when that creature dies, you also drain them for 2. It's also a 2/2 flyer, so this thing just gets a lot of damage in, and also drains your opponent for a good amount. So great card. And then the last card is a Pillory of the Sleepless. This card is just awesome. I'm really glad I got a foil from the original printing, just because I really like the ethereal gallows. Not gallows. Whatever these are called. The things that you get your hands and arms stuck into. Really, really sweet. Awesome card too. Pacifism with the drain effect. Like it a lot. Going into Boros, we've got Wojek Halberdiers, just a good beater. We've got Sky Knight Legionnaire, hits fast and hits hard. And we've got Viashino First Blade, that hits as a 4/4 the first turn it comes out. So another great card. And then we've got Double Cleave. Again, the only downside is that oftentimes red decks or white decks want this that aren't necessarily white-red. But that's kind of a good thing, you know, having a card that's so versatile. So that's great. For our Selesnya, we've got Guardian of Vitu-Ghazi, just this big 4/7 vigilance dude, and it can cost way cheap when you tap your dudes for him, and can help finish out a game and protect you. We've got Call of the Conclave. So glad that this got shifted down to common. I've had a foil for quite some time, and I finally have a really good use for it outside of this casual Centaurs deck that I have. Can't wait to get this signed by Therese whenever I go and meet her at a GP, but what a lovely picture. There is a promo version of Call of the Conclave, but it's not as pretty. Therese still did a much better job. So, not a much better job. Therese is just really, really awesome. The other art for the promo is actually pretty sweet, but this is just better art in my opinion. Selesnya Evangel, a really good early drop that can start making a bunch of sapperlings, so that's good. And then finally, we've got a Disenchant, but it has Populate on there as well, so that's just a pretty good spell. So, Dinrover Horror kicks off our Dimir cards. Really, really excellent card. Again, I have all these foils that I've been collecting over the years, and I've just been rewarded by them. This is something I got in Ravnica block draft. I was playing this. I think I ended up playing a Graces deck, but Dinrover Horror was so good, and I just kept my foil because it was just so gosh darn pretty. And then when I found out that I think it was Masters 25, or sorry, not Masters 25, Modern Masters 2017 had this shifted at common. It went right into this cube as soon as that was announced. So super happy about it. We got Deny Reality, which is bounce a permanent and then Cascade. I haven't really tested this out. I've seen it in a lot of cubes. Haven't seen it really, really work. So we'll see how it goes. But there's plenty of other Dimir control spells. I think I just removed a recoil. And so I could probably put that back in if this doesn't pan out. But still seems really good. We got Agony Warp, which can save you some damage and kill a thing. Really, really excellent. Just a fun card. I just got this in foil as well. And then Soul Manipulation. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the Shards of Alara, or the Alara block, common symbol foil. But this one was $1 and or 75 cents, and I decided to pick it up. Looks great. I do really like the foils from Modern Masters 2017. And just a really good card. Counter a creature spell, get a creature back. We good. The easiest archetype to build certainly is Izzet spells. Got a Goblin Electromancer. Got an Izzet Chronarch. Got a Wee Dragonauts. And then have a Nivik Cyclops. Nice and simple. Just spells matter. Great cards. Simic is probably the least defined of all of the archetypes. But that's because it was kind of it was kind of in between ramp and +1/+1 counters. I've been slowly going towards ramp. We got Ethereal Ambush here that makes 2 dudes and can also get your creatures out quicker. Got Shamble Shark. That's just a fun spell. Love it a lot. Coiling Oracle. And then... Oh, shoot. I'm actually missing a card. So I actually have... Oh, I think I know where it is. I won't get it right now, but I have Drake Ring Krasis. It's a 3/1 for 3 mana, and it has Trample and Flying, or Flample, as it will. And that right now, that's in place of Assault Zeppelin, because I just haven't been able to find one yet. That's a 4 mana 3/3 Flampler. So that's what I want to put in there, but I think that card's in the other room. At any rate, we're going on to Rakdos. We've got Augur Spree, which I've yet to see this used as giving a creature +4/-4 and the creature still living and just dealing a metric butt ton of damage. But hopefully we'll see it soon. I want to see it. I cannot wait. But for right now, most of the time, just like Nameless Inversion in black, this is usually just used as a removal spell. But a good removal spell at that. 3 mana can kill most things. Yeah, we're good. And then we got Spike Jester, good old 3/1 with haste. We want to get in that damage nice and early. We got Wrecking Ball. Okay, we got Wrecking Ball. I got our original foil from Dissension. The reason why I'm going with Wrecking Ball is that it is 4 mana, kill anything. Also blow up a land. There are Karoo lands from Ravnica in this expansion, in this cube, I should say. And so, yeah, you can really screw somebody over by just blowing up their land and really setting them back. So that's why I have this in here. And then the last card we have is Blightning. Got to get a foil of this, but great card. Super fun. And really, like, here's the thing. There are probably some better Rakdos cards out there. There's a lot of really aggressive creatures. And some people discount the merit of Blightning, and I totally get that. Mind Rot isn't amazing, and Bolt to the Face is decent in aggressive decks, but the main reason I put this in here is that this is a card that really captures the imagination of newer players. And I'm playing with a fair amount of newer players now. And granted, they're actually like pretty skilled because there's some pretty complex stuff going on in this cube. But Blightning is something that gets them excited. And I just feel that a 2/2 with haste and first strike just wouldn't do it. Like if we were put in Rakdos Cackler or something like that, it just wouldn't capture their imagination the same way Blightning does. And so I wanted to have this in here so that people would want to get into these archetypes. Because you kind of have to balance that as a cube builder. You have to balance the whole idea of like, yeah, I know this card is good, but nobody else does. And it's not what gets them excited. Murder gets them excited, right? Giant Growth gets them excited, even though Rancor is a strictly better card. That's probably a bad analogy because Rancor is pretty well infamous and iconic. Anyways, going on to Golgari, we've got Susway Scorpion, good Death Toucher, and you can scavenge later. We've got Shambling Shell, a dredge card that you can put counters on dudes. We got Grizzly Salvage, a really good cantrip and card advantage with Golgari, and then Golgari Rotworm, which makes people lose life, and it's also just a 5/4 on its own right. Pretty big dude. Now we're getting into the last guild, which is Gruul, and we've got a Scabclan Mauler, which can be up to a 3/3 with Trample for 2 mana, which is pretty sweet. We've got Zertos Swine, which is just a brutal combat trick to spring on people. We got Pit Fight, because fighting is cool. And not really, kids. Go to school, don't do drugs, and don't do pit fights. But the last multicolored card we have in this cube is Colossal Might. Put in a lot of work, actually. I wasn't expecting it to be that great, but with the trample and the +4/+2, people haven't been expecting it, so it's kind of been shaking up the decks that people have been building. Anyways, so that's multicolored. The last step we have is to look at our artifacts, and we'll do a very brief overview of the lands that I'm running in this cube. But thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video. Catch you later.